Allow me to extend a warm welcome to all the viewers on the internet and around the world. It is sunrise on YouTube, morning on Facebook, noon on Twitter, midday on Threads, afternoon on Twitch, sunset on Instagram, and evening on Rumble. I am your host, the Ancient One, the Bachelor Supreme, the Phantom Menace, he who remains, and the master of the deceptive arts. We are broadcasting live directly from the sanctum of solitude and the citadel at the end of time. Sun Tzu says, in making tactical dispositions, the highest pitch you can attain is to conceal them. Conceal your dispositions, and you will be safe from the prying of the subtlest spies, from the machinations of the wisest brain. Hence, that general is skilled in attack whose opponent does not know what to defend, and he is skilled in defense whose opponent does not know what to attack. O divine art of subtlety and secrecy, through you we learn to be invisible, through you inaudible. Hence, we can hold the enemy's fate in our hands. If it is to your advantage, make a forward move. If not, stay where you are. Let your rapidity be that of the wind, your compactness that of the forest. In raiding and plundering, be like fire. In immovability, like a mountain. Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt. The general who is skilled in defense hides in the most secret recesses of the earth. He who is skilled in attack flashes forth from the topmost heights of heaven. Thus, on one hand, we have ability to protect ourselves. On the other, a victory that is complete. Good evening, fellow practitioners of the deceptive arts. I am the Ancient One, the Bachelor Supreme, the Phantom Menace, he who remains, the master of the deceptive arts, and I come to you as the unfathomable voice of the Vasectomites. And today, I wanted us to talk about curiosity. And you might have heard the quote, the proverb that says, a curious mind wants to know. And that is ironically the definition of what curiosity actually is. It is the desire to want to know. And I would assert that every mind is curious. Every mind is thirsty for some type of stimulation, some type of information. And ultimately, what the mind really wants to do is to uncover some truth, to unveil some mystery, and to get to the bottom of things once and for all, even if there is no bottom. Today, I wanted us to make a serious comparison, if we can, between the power of mystery and the failure that often accompanies popularity, and perhaps the irony of the moment that you and I are in right now is beginning to be glaring and obvious, that you and I are in fact in a very, very mysterious situation. Here I am, a mysterious and unknown element, unaccounted for, unpredictable, and therefore unquantifiable and uncontainable. These are the real variables of a true conundrum. As a practitioner of the deceptive arts, which by the way is a fully legal practice, right? What we do on this platform is 100% within the parameters of the law. You can go ahead and lie to everyone. You can go ahead and lie to everyone, and then you can admit that you lied to everyone to the judge, and you'll be perfectly within your legal rights. But as a practitioner, and as practitioners of the deceptive arts, we are right at a point where we know enough about each other to realize that we don't really know much about each other. And what we have to do is really come out and have a discussion about what makes a mystery, what makes it so interesting, right? We have to enter into the realm of mysterious paradoxes and confounding enigmas. A mystery, by nature, is an ambiguous thing. It is unfathomable. It is difficult, firstly, to discover, and if you do discover it, you'll struggle to explore it. And once you've explored it, perhaps you might be able to unpack it. But even if you do unpack it, like the Art of War, written by the Grandmaster of the Deceptive Arts himself, Sun Tzu, even if you do get into it, it would be difficult to understand. It would take a long time to get right to the depth of it, and cumbersome to get through. It's a very short book, but it's very, very detailed. As for myself, I have to admit, anonymity has been one of my closest allies. While public exposure, in contrast, has only created enemies for me and foes, rather than the promise that it guarantees to deliver, which is the promise of companionship and friendship. I have not experienced that through public exposure. Quite the opposite, rather. Quite the opposite, right? But I wondered to myself as I was delineating today's video, today's discussion, let's call it, right? What exactly makes a good mystery? When you think about it, right, what are in the elements of what is a good mystery? And I have a working hypothesis. It's not a complete thought yet in its entirety, like our philosophy here of freezing your sperm and getting a vasectomy. Right? Freeze your sperm, get a vasectomy, and then you'll understand the real and true benefit of mystery. Oh, there's nothing more mysterious than a vasectomy. The feeling that something isn't truly right, something is wrong, something isn't as it should be, but what is it? But what is it? And then when you do discover what it actually is, when you find out that it is in fact a vasectomy and you're dealing with a vasectomite, what are you going to do about it? What could you really possibly do about it? And then you start to deal with the problem of what to do about it. So it's one thing to get the vasectomy, or to find out rather that someone has a vasectomy. And then you have to ask yourself, what are you going to do about it? What can you do about it? And for many people, the answer that there's nothing you can do about it, that is not satisfying. That causes them to want to find a solution to an impossible task. It is delightful. in terms of the level of secrecy and mystery that you will be able to manufacture and control and choreograph. Especially if you freeze your sperm. If you get a vasectomy, that's all very good. But if you freeze your sperm and you follow the vasectomite way, you will embrace instantly the deceptive arts and you will immediately become a mysterious figure, just as I have become one on this platform. But this thought that I'm having, I believe it's worth exploring. And I believe that together, you and I, we can complete this thought. And we can have an opportunity for you to dive into the mind of the Bachelor Supreme and see for yourself what exactly you can see. When describing the elements of a true mystery, I mean something that is really gripping, I think of a quote from a movie, and I can't recall if it was a movie or a series or show or both. I may have heard it from first a movie and then later from a series and then ultimately from a show or somebody else online. But the performer in this particular scene was having a very unique discussion. I can't even remember what they were talking about. I can only remember how he concluded it. And I thought to myself, isn't that just the perfect mystery? He said, and I quote, and I don't know who I'm quoting, by the way, there are things that you know, and then there are things that you don't know. But more than that, there are things that you don't know that you don't know. And to me, that's what makes a really good mystery. So on the first part is you know something, but you don't know everything. Then you realize that there are very specific things that you don't really know. Things that should be knowable, but you don't really know. And then from there, you may discover that there are things that you are completely oblivious to. Completely oblivious to. These are the things that you don't know that you don't know. I think a good mystery needs all these elements to exist and to perform effectively and to be sustained also. All right. You need a combination of these things to exist. So somebody has to know something. Not everything, but something. And something like they knew you before a specific time. And then there's this massive gap of like years, and then they know you again. And then either there's a complete transition or change, or it appears that things are still the same, but you know that they are not. And that person doesn't fill in those gaps. So they don't tell you where they've been, they don't tell you what they've done, they don't tell you what's changed, what hasn't changed. They just continue as normal. And they never discuss it. Wouldn't that be mysterious? Wouldn't you want to know what happened in those missing years? Right? I think a lot of people would. And there are things that you know about me, right? Very specific things, right? And these are the mysterious elements that you and I will share as practitioners of the deceptive arts, to be able to give them just enough, not too much, but not too little, right? Enough to want them to want more, just a taste, right? Something they can bite but not chew. So what you know about me is I'm a vasectomite. I've frozen my sperm, 1 billion sperm. And I had a vasectomy. I'm a narcissist. I'm a narcissist, complete narcissist, textbook narcissist. Look up the textbook. right? Pick up the textbook, look up the definition, narcissist, word for word. I would change nothing in that textbook as defining of myself. All that is true, even the unflattering stuff. But you also know that I'm a traveler, not just a traveler to many countries, not just a world traveler, but also a time traveler, a historian of sorts. I'm here now to relive and outlive the history of 2026. You know I'm a time traveler, both in spirit and in kind. And I bring forth to you advanced and futuristic technology, futuristic vasectomite technology from a far-flung galaxy in a dimension that cross parallels your own. And our realities have now converged through one conquering message. Freeze your sperm and get a vasectomy. You know these things about me. Some you might be concerned about, others you may not believe. But this is all part of the mystery. Is it true? Is it not? The vasectomite technology that I bring forth from another dimension and another time and another galaxy, all in one reality, is nuanced and unique. It is a combination of effects that is going to change the trajectory of humanity. If enough of us follow this protocol, there is nothing on this planet, in this realm, in this reality that we cannot achieve. To be able to protect ourselves fully from any impending doom, legal, biological, natural, any acts of God, we've overcome those. And still, through science and technology, through sperm cryopreservation and sperm cryoprotection, you can tell I've practiced those words a few times in the mirror, but through this technology, futuristic, unbound technology, a combination never seen before anywhere, it has been brought forth to you by I, the Ancient One, along with the vasectomites, to liberate you from the captivity of your own biological imperative, to free you from God's plan, so that you, and only you, can determine your destiny. These are the things that you know of me. And this technology, you will not hear about it anywhere else. The combination of freeze your sperm, get a vasectomy, is not only futuristic, is not only unheard of, it is going to change the course of humanity. Imagine 1 billion men with 1 billion sperm frozen and no biological obligation to anyone. That is going to change the scope of things. But then also in our mixture, our concoction of mystery, right? We need the obvious things to be there that you don't know. For instance, what does the Ancient One look like? What is his ethnicity? How tall is he? How short is he? How big is that hunchback that he describes? How crooked are his teeth really? Are they sharp and pointy, or just crooked and weird? Does his breath stink? Is he fat? And how fat is he? How bad is that limp? Does he really need a walking stick? Just the usual stuff. Just the usual things that people want to know about other people. Then there are those things that the counterpart desires. The counterpart wants to know, does he have savings? How much savings? Can I get some of those savings? And the answer to that question is no, you cannot. Well, 1% you're in the budget, but that's about it. That's about it. I'm not going over 1% with these counterparts. These are important things in combination because they help to form a characterization, right? Personality traits, things that you can identify. And without these things, we have a mystery. On the one hand, you have narcissism, you have a vasectomite, you have a time traveler, you have a mysterious, unknown entity, unquantifiable, who has chosen no sides in the romance war. But on the other hand, there is still so much left unknown, so much left unsaid. Then we have to look at the part of you that is also aware, the part of you that is just waiting for me to confirm that yes, in fact, you are dealing with a perpetual, unashamed liar. I don't even hold back, and I'm not even going to deny it. If you accuse me of lying, I won't deny it. All I'll do is just lie some more. Now, you know this. You know this. A mystery perfectly matched with an enigma. I am a deep, dark void of duplicity and ambiguity. I am indeed the master of the deceptive arts. And if you so choose to trust a man of this nature, you must ask yourself, truly, are you delusional? Are you reckless? Are you being careless? Or are you just full of faith that this faceless voice, this unknown entity, this master of the deceptive arts, this empty void of deception, are you certain that you could put your faith in such a person? Or are you simply tempting fate? Are you gambling with your life and your own reality? Will this process even work that the Ancient One describes? And how did he come about this freeze your sperm and get a vasectomy? Is it truly a technology from a far-flung galaxy, from a different dimension that is somehow intersecting and converging with our own? You know you can't trust a person like that, and yet here you are, listening anyway. Has the Ancient One convinced you to ignore your own biological instinct? Has he convinced you to ignore your own desire to reproduce and recreate of your own likeness? The ability to influence a life or several lives and guide them to fruition? Have you trusted this entity and believed that this person, this dark void as he describes himself, can be trusted even a little bit? If you have, I tell you, then the circle of deception is complete because now you are lying to yourself. Complete and perfect. For this reason, I believe you and I have a great and wonderful mystery. We share something very special, and we are going to have so much fun convincing each other of every type of possible narcissistic machination that we can conjure up, including freezing 1 billion sperm, being able to repopulate an entire continent in a year, In a year, nobody else can say that. It'll take you forever to repopulate a continent, and I can do it in less than a year. I could do it in 9 months. I can do it in 9 months, and so can you, if you so choose to put your faith in a faceless man. And I think you should. I think you should forget these attention seeker and these popularity chasers. There's nothing worse than a person who thinks they're famous and wants to be famous. You've convinced yourself of your own divinity. It's ridiculous. These people, they want to be seen. They want to be known. They want to be remembered. This is the truth about it. And ironically, they're wrong. You see, people who want fame and popularity, deep down inside, they just want you to know that they exist. They just want you to know that their life matters. And they hope that you will remember them at their best. And of course, they are completely wrong. You are completely wrong. If people can forget about Elvis Presley, if people can move on from the death of Michael Jackson and Prince, if people can move on from the demise of Pavarotti, if people can move forward from the death of great kings, emperors, conquerors, legends, who the hell do you think you are? People are going to forget you. You are going to get 3 days of meaningless YouTube coverage where everyone is going to go in and cash in on your misery. And as soon as, I promise you, as soon as the viewership drops on your demise, they will quickly move on to the next story. And it's going to be a meaningless scandal about some denim jeans. You're going to spend a month talking about jeans that don't make a difference in your life. Just think about that. Just think about that. You're trying to be remembered, and all that's going to happen is that people are going to use your demise to put a little bit of money in their back pocket. I promise you that. And as soon as your demise is no longer profitable, they'll move on to the next issue. You're going to be forgotten. The only thing you've done with your popularity and your fame and your YouTube success is you have foregone. You have foregone a position of tremendous advantage to play a weak hand. You have given away your sense of security for a false sense of safety. You have given away real security for a false sense of safety. You've exposed yourself just because you wanted to be famous. Just because you wanted to be famous as a kid and you didn't make it. So you exposed yourself. And you exposed enough about yourself for people to deduce that you are only a man. By showing yourself, you took away your most powerful weapon, mystery, anonymity, to be unfathomable, to be an enigma, to be the phantom menace, just so you could prove to people that you are only a man. To prove that you can be judged, measured, weighed, and ultimately deemed to be found wanting, just for a desire to be known, to be noticed, to be acknowledged, and ultimately to be remembered. And your memory is only going to serve the pockets of your enemies. Isn't that just ironic? The people to whom you don't want talking about you are going to talk about you, and they are going to cash in. They're going to cash in on all of your work. And as soon as it doesn't benefit them, they're going to cut bait and move on to the next story. Just think about that. Just think about that. Just for the desire to be remembered. When the desire you should have is to be impactful as a real, genuine mystery can be. Take my advice. Ignore the attention seekers. Ignore the popularity chasing fakers. Ignore the imitators, the pretenders, those that want to be something more than mortals, just for them to prove, that they're just like everybody else. Have you ever seen that nonsense? Celebrities are just like us, and you just for you to find out that these people are in debt and struggling. What a waste of time. What a waste of time when all you've done is just exposed yourself so that we can judge you and deem you unworthy. You've given away your power just so somebody can take a picture of you, a picture that you could quite frankly have taken by yourself. Ignore these people. We are the practitioners of the deceptive art, secrecy, anonymity, deception, mystery. These are our tools. These are the things that power us, that strengthen us. And we don't hide from these things. We don't shy away from these things. We embrace them. We embrace them because we know that the fakeness of fame, popularity, notoriety will soon fall away. And what remains? What remains, as usual? The unknown. There's always the unknown. Once you are known, the mystery is gone. The magic is gone. And what people are going to look for next, what they're going to look for more than anything else, is something that they need to know. They are going to want to quench the thirst of curiosity. And that is going to bring them straight to me. And when people come for the mystery, what they will encounter is me reading another article like the one I'm about to read for today, which coincides with exactly what we're talking about. The psychology of murder mystery. Well, I was just going to go with mystery, but again, we need there to be something that we know for there to be a mystery. You can't just have a mystery for no mystery. Oh, we're going to talk about why these people love murder mysteries. All people love murder mysteries, right? I didn't allude to this in the opening monologue, but yeah, the best part of a mystery is salacious details. People love murder mysteries because there are so many salacious details that lead up to the final act, and then they want to hear about the consequences. What happened, right? What's going to happen? What comes next? So it's not, so just like as I said with the vasectomy, and we can call this a vasectomy mystery. Oh, this is so much better. Yes, I much prefer a vasectomy mystery because I was thinking about all the articles that we'd read about secret vasectomies. Maybe not as much as I should. I should probably do more of those. But you know what? I don't wanna, abuse a good thing. Too much of a good thing, that kind of thing. So we're just gonna keep things simple, as they say, right? I don't wanna. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to squeeze too much of a good thing. But I suppose, I mean, those are really good articles, aren't they? Those vasectomy mysteries. I love those. I really do. Not so much into murder mysteries myself, but some people really love the murder mysteries, right? Just as much as I love vasectomy mysteries. But this comes from a platform called Invitation to Murder. Oh, I put the link on there twice. No, I didn't. It's the same link. Okay, I thought I put it on there twice, but it's just the same link that extends on and on. It's a very long link. But there you go. The website is invitationtomurder.co.uk. So they come from the United Kingdom. And of course, there's the link to the actual article itself that we are going to read together. I'm just going to substitute the word murder with vasectomy, right? Let's talk about a vasectomy mystery. Oh, that's so delightful. I love vasectomy mysteries. You see, there, I'm already one of them. You know, now that I think about it, I'm one of those people that loves mysteries. Not every type of mystery, but of course, I have my favorite type, which is a vasectomy mystery. So, yeah, we all love a mystery, but let's find out why. Uh, Invitation to Murder says vasectomy mysteries have long captivated audiences. Yes, they have, drawing us into their tangled webs of intrigue and suspense. This is what we're talking about: intrigue, suspense, the unknown, right? Who's the man behind the voice of the vasectomites? Oh, yes. Oh, I hope not knowing tortures you, right? A little bit, not like all the way where you start losing your mind. But at least I hope that there are people who are going to start making like a voice comparison, comparing one voice to another, comparing one voice to another, trying to ultimately think, could this be the voice? Could that be the voice? Oh, we're going to have a great time with this mystery, you and I. From the comfort of our living rooms, pretty much, we sit on the edge of our seats, eagerly piecing together clues and attempting to solve the puzzle before the big reveal. But what is it about these stories that so thoroughly engaged our minds and emotions? I'll tell you what I love about vasectomy stories. It's the three elements. On the one hand, we have what we know, the vasectomy, and it's always there. It is like a shadow hanging over them. Then we have what we don't know, or the person who doesn't know, the counterpart. And the counterpart is trying to get something that they will never have. But they believe, they have hope, they have faith that they're going to get it. Oh, but we know that they're not. And it's not a mystery for us, but it's a mystery for them. And the best part is when you read this article, you know it's going to end up in calamity, but you still want to know what she does. How does she figure it out, right? How does she get to the big reveal, the puzzle? She pays specialists, she tests herself, she goes through all kinds of things. And then she eliminates every possible outcome and then comes to the one truth. But even then, she still doesn't know. She needs the confession. She needs the vasectomite to say, I got a vasectomy. And only then does it come together. The big reveal, but then now you have a different problem. Now you know the truth. And you know what? After the truth, they never stick around. They always leave. They always leave. Oh, but it's them figuring it out, the chase, the mystery, the puzzle, right? The path that they go through, uncovering layer after layer after layer. And we all know what she's going to find. We all know what's at the end of that road. A vasectomite. Invincible. and unbeatable. They are always shattered, aren't they? Just devastated. I think it's the devastation of putting in so much work and then finding out the truth. Oh, the truth. It's always worse, isn't it, when the truth comes out? Oh, it's gut wrenching. It's gut wrenching. I love the thrill of suspense, which is our first point. And it's at the heart of our fascination with murder mystery lies the element of suspense, the build up of tension. Oh, yes, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Man, I'm starting to like this article from the Invitation to Murder. Yes, the build up to the gradual unveiling of secrets, just peeling back that layer, finding out something that leads you to something else. And then you find out something else that leads you to something else, and then you wonder, am I on the right path? Should I retrace my steps? Oh, it's glorious. It's glorious. And and then the looming question of who did it all, right? Well, not maybe the looming question of who did it, because they're talking about a who done it, right? Which is a genre of literature that is really focused on mystery, particular and murder mystery. This particular genre of literature begins with the murder itself, and then the detective or the person who's going, or the investigator who has to go back, right? And generally the best ones are when they go backwards, right? And then they get to the point where the crime happens, and then they keep going further back to deduce motive and reason. Oh, and it's the motives and the reasons that make the story, you know. Like they'll tell you who did it right at the beginning, and then they tell you why, and then they tell you how. Oh, it's the details, man. It's the details. And they all serve to keep us glued to these narrative. This sense, this suspense, I beg your pardon, taps into our innate curiosity, compelling us to seek answers and resolve the unknown. Why would you want to be famous? Why would you want to put your face all over everything until people get tired of seeing you, when you could have the power of suspense that taps into the innate curiosity of the mind, compelling, inducing the instinct within us to seek answers, to unravel this thing. The lady could have just let it go in the vasectomy mystery. Or they could have just let it go, but they cannot let it go. They are addicted to knowing. They will spend money, take days of work, consult astrologists, just to find out what is the thing that I don't know, that I don't know. It's the oblivion. It's the dark void of deception that they want nothing more than to illuminate, just for that void to swallow up that light like it was nothing, like it was never even there. And it is then that they discover how vast the void really is. It is all encompassing. Mystery, anonymity is our ally. And this is the power that it'll bring you as a practitioner of the deceptive arts. Don't listen to these false prophets telling you to put your face all over the internet, all over the TV, all over the magazines, and risk your life and your security, when you could be just as impactful, perhaps even more, being an unknown, mysterious, phantomous figure, prowling around the internet, doing whatever comes to their mind, discussing any topic openly and freely, as if I was right in your house right now. Engaging our problem solving skills. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This is why people love games like chess, because every move offers a new problem to resolve. See, people think that chess is like life. Chess is not like life. Chess is not like life. This is something that was explained, in like an internet meme or something like that. In life, we don't always start with the same pieces and the same amounts at the same level at the same time. Some people are further ahead, some people are further behind. Some people are trying to do what you can do and keep failing when they should be doing something else. You should be doing something else, but you're succeeding doing this when you could be more successful doing something else, right? It's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. But people love to figure things out, right? They love the challenge that, for example, when you make a move in chess, there's a new possibility, and the more moves you make, the more the possibilities. There's a possibility of success and a possibility of failure equally in every move, right? And and every time there's a move, you got to make a whole different new calculation to the outcome of the game, and then a new calculation every time. So think about it like this: if you have to make 1,000 calculations to win a game of chess, every time there's a move, that's another 1,000 calculations. Every time there's a move, so either when you move and the opponent moves, that's 1,000 calculations. You're making billions of calculations, and your brain loves it. The brain loves making these calculations. That's why counterparts always jump to conclusions. They will surmise all kinds of madness, trying to problem solve. Imagine trying to problem solve a vasectomy. Now, when you have a vasectomy and you cannot problem solve it, then they generally just give up. But if you give them a small acumen of hope, a window through which they could see a possibility, even in the distant horizon, and you tell them, oh, by the way, I also froze my sperm. Oh, that's a whole nother level of problem solving. The question then becomes, are you going to give her the permission to use your sperm to get inseminated? Then she has to convince you. If she really, really wants it, oh, this is going to be a magnificent puzzle to figure out. Counterparts are going to love it. When you hit her with, I got a vasectomy, and she goes into that deep depression, and you wait a few months, man, not weeks or months, and then you call her back and you tell her, but I froze my sperm. Can we talk about it? There are still possibilities. I just want to know if you are the right person. Or she'll become the right person. She'll become the right person. Just for the curiosity of seeing where this thing can actually go. And then the fact that she is going to get inseminated through various science fiction methods that are now real science, that adds another layer of interest, of curiosity. You've now left the norm and you've entered the realm of science fiction. Those are layers of mystery, deep, deep mysteries, each one worthy of its own attention to resolve before you can move on to the next level and the next level and the next level. And the chances of failure are always immaculate. You're always walking a razor thin edge, wondering every step of the way, just wondering about this secret vasectomy. Then there's the question of, if this person was unfaithful, they had an affair. How would you know? How would you figure that out? How would you find out? You'd need to investigate more, deeper into this individual in order to find out what lies beneath. And then deeper more until eventually you are lost in an abyss of dark deception. You are now you are now in the grasp of the master of the deceptive arts while he weaves the divine manipulation of the thread, tying you in, tying you in, tying you in until ultimately tears, many, many tears, so many tears. And that's how you know you've done a good job. That's how you know you've done a good job, when the tears start to flow. The human brain is wired to enjoy solving puzzles. Mysteries provide a structured yet thrilling challenge that engages our problem solving skills. As we sift through clues and red herrings, our critical thinking is put to the test, allowing us to exercise cognitive faculties in a captivating way. This is what we're talking about. This is right up the lane of a secret vasectomy. This is theater. It's opera, man. It's engaging, right? It's a show that's happening in front of you. But not only that, you're part of the show. You know those theater performances you're watching, like a Shakespearean performance. And then somebody in the crowd stands up and says something, and you realize, oh, they've got actors hidden among the audience. And just then the person in front of you stands up and says a Shakespearean line and points at you and shakes your hand, gives you a rose, something for you to take home from the show. You are now part of the show. It's a deeper meaning. This is why I like theater. This is why I love theater. It's really an immersive experience, right? You don't just watch it. You're really part of it. Like, if you ever watched, like, I'll give you an example. I was at the Moulin Rouge in my first time in Paris, and it was delightful. Dinner, drinks, all that. They gave us a bottle of champagne, which looked quite expensive and delicious, and I gave it to the couple next door, right next to us. And they loved it. Oh, they were finished. By the end of it, they were finished. They had their own bottle, and then they just went right through their bottle, and then took their time with our bottle, the second bottle. There was somebody with me, but they didn't drink, and I know they wanted to, and I'm grateful they didn't, because they were gonna ruin it for me. But this isn't that, right? But maybe I should have let them get drunk, you know. But it wasn't that situation. A different situation, perhaps. But I'm not about to ruin my vacation, doing dumb things in a new place that I don't understand the language, and so on and so forth. So I chose caution for myself. But they could have done whatever they wanted. It is what it is. But as the ladies were performing and dancing, and the music and things, people started to clap along with the rhythm of the song. And that sound of the music, and the dancing and the clapping and the cheering of the audience, oh, it made it so much better. This is why people go to sports events, because you feel like you're part of the event. When you watch somebody, like, score a touchdown or score a goal, that sound from the stadium is just pure energy. The earth shakes beneath it, right? The stadium walls shiver and shudder. It's brilliant. It's brilliant, right? You are part of the experience. And that's what a secret vasectomy brings. That's what a real mystery brings to the table. You're not just watching a show, you're part of it. You're immersed, right? Counterparts become detectives. They include other people, they seek advice. They pay specialists. It's a whole performance. It's a theater, I'm telling you. It's a theater, right? And it's delightful. You can only get that through mystery. You can only get that through mystery. You can't get that by people knowing who you are. People know who you are, you become a target. That's it. That's it. And all you do is you try to, stop people from taking your money and taking your things. You know, you you don't get to play a real character. You really don't, man. I think you're cheating yourself. I think you're cheating yourself out of a wonderful life experience. And then, of course, we have the emotions, the feelings, right? There's the feeling of not knowing. Then there's the feeling of sensing that there's a problem. Then there's the feeling of mystery, the satisfaction of discovering one thing, but then the thirst for more, and then more, and then more, and then the emotional satisfaction of finding out the truth, and then a resolution. Or is it? Is it a resolution or just a deeper level of deception? The thrill of solving a mystery is not just about intellectual stimulation. There's also that. It also provides emotional satisfaction. Some people feel relieved in knowing. Like part of those tears is the relief of that tension. Knowing that you're not crazy. Knowing that you're not losing it, that something is wrong, right? And that feeling, you're justified in having that feeling. That is a relief. And I've seen people cry tears, not just from heartbreak, but also from the release of the stress that the unknown has been causing in their minds, in their hearts, in their feelings, in their spirit, if such a thing exists. Successfully identifying the culprit, oh, now you're a culprit, offers a sense of achievement and closure. Or so you think. Fulfilling our desire for justice and order. This resolution is particularly satisfying given the safe context in which it is achieved. Yes, this is only satisfying if you're watching it from the like part of the audience kind of thing, or from the vasectomite. But imagine being the counterpart, all right? Finding out 7 years in, you know, 10 years in, some of them, a decade of deception, a decade of deception, just to find out that even uncovering that deception, the vasectomy, is not really going to help you. Or will it? Does he have sperm frozen over? If so, how many? Will he give you some? What's going on? What's really going on? That's really the question that people want to know. And they won't be satisfied, even when you tell them, even when they find out. They still won't be satisfied. There's a craving, there's a hunger that people have for mystery. Get a vasectomy. They'll want to know who you've been with, who you haven't been with, why you were with this one and why not that one. Why not be with that one if you have a vasectomy? Why choose that one? Why not have them all? If you could. Why make the choices that you make? You're a vasectomite. This opens a whole new layer of mystery. Who are the vasectomites? Where do they come from? What do they want? What is their plan? Who is the ancient one? This will be satisfying to resolve if you're sitting at home, listening to the content, watching the video. and then one day the face of the Ancient One appears. Then you have to ask yourself, that face that I'm looking at, is that really the Ancient One? Really, really? Or an imposter? Or we're going to have a great time. Or we're going to have a great time. Safe exploration of darker themes. Mystery. Unlike real life crime, the violence and darkness of murder or vasectomy mysteries are confined within the boundaries of fiction, allowing us to explore themes of danger and morality without accompanying real world consequences. This is a vasectomy. This is a vasectomy, right? This is a vasectomy mystery, all described. The genre provides a lens through which we can examine the motive. Let me do that last bit again. It says here, the genre provides a lens through which we can examine the motives and psychology of both the detectives and the criminals involved. Oh yes. Oh, I'm gonna go through this part here. You see the part where there are no real world consequences. So you're involved in a real genuine mystery with slight consequences. The only consequence being that you don't have a baby. So the consequence of a vasectomy is that there are no consequences. And that in itself is a tragic consequence, ironically. Because if you really want a child, this doesn't imply that you can't have one. It just means that you couldn't have one with this person. And that would be a tragedy all on its own. Not being able to have a child with the person that you want to have a child, the one that got away, as they say. But as you are going through all this frustration, the counterpart I'm talking about, trying to figure out what's going on, why I can't get inseminated and pregnant. I've tried everything, I've eaten everything, I've done yoga, I've meditated, I've manifested, right? And still nothing. And then the truth is unveiled. Just for them to realize that this vasectomite cannot face any real world consequences. As if he was watching his own performance. Part of the show as well as part of the audience. And you are the performance. Your emotions, your grief, your relief, your sadness, your frustration, your anger, your effort, your lies, your seduction, everything that you've put into that for nothing, for absolutely nothing. What a waste of time. Kind of makes me want to get into a relationship with somebody who wants to have a baby. Maybe I'll do that next, right? Then you want to know the motives. They always want to know the motives, right? But we get to see the motives of the vasectomite. And then you get to see the motives of the counterpart. So as the audience, when we're reading like these vasectomy mystery articles, we know that she doesn't know. We know the vasectomite knows, right? So we know the motivations of the vasectomite: deception, secrecy, mystery, lies, to be an enigma. Then we know the counterparts, the counter to the vasectomy, the counterparts' motivations. She wants the vasectomy to pay bills for 18 years. The consequences of this are very real. This is a very real game, but not for the vasectomite. For the counterpart, she wins, she gets child support for 18 years, maybe more. She loses, she goes home with nothing. And the vasectomite, well, the mystery continues. Popular mysteries and their appeal. It says many popular vasectomy mysteries have left lasting impressions on audiences as well as this platform will, highlighting the genre's widespread appeal. Classic tales like Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express and Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes series have become cultural touchstones. More contemporary examples, such as the television series Broadchurch, never heard of it, and the film Knives Out, also never heard of it, continue to captivate audiences with their innovative stories. That is Broadchurch and Knives Out, and apparently they will captivate you with their innovative storytelling. I might check them out. I may genuinely check them out. But in truth, the secret vasectomy articles that we read, when I read them, I feel, I sense instinctively, even though it's not mentioned, it's never mentioned, that the counterpart is left irrevocably changed. They will never be the same again. They may have the child, but they will always remember their encounter with the vasectomite as something, quite frankly, strange and unusual, something unfathomable. You know, they still think about vasectomites. They miss vasectomites. They still love them. I hear it in every article. They'll say, I still love them because they were affected in a way. And quite frankly, no one else could affect them. I believe it's only a matter of time before vasectomy mysteries become a thing all on their own. Where 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 it's like the murder mystery. Where you already know what's happened, but you wanna know what's happening inside. Right? How did you feel when you couldn't get inseminated 3 years, 4 years? Oh, they'll tell you, I blamed myself. I felt inferior as a person, as a counterpart. I thought I couldn't achieve my biological imperative. I felt judged by society. They'll tell you all kinds of things because it's left a lasting impression on them. And I think that the world would love nothing more than to hear the stories, real stories of counterparts talk about their attempts to get inseminated with a vasectomy. You know, they have all kinds of testimonials where men will tell you, hello everyone, I'm the ancient one, spelled TheAncientOne. That's ancient one. I'm 100 years old and I got a vasectomy. And then here comes the counterpart. Hi, I'm the counterpart. I'm over 21. I'm legal of age. I'm of legal and consenting age. And I've been trying for years to get inseminated with the ancient one. And it shattered my dreams. And this is how it started. Then they tell you how they met. Oh, they tell you how they fell in love and how perfect they were and how everybody said they were perfect together. And how this counterpart always wanted to be a mother. She always wanted to be a mother. It was her dream since she was a little girl. Nonsense. But yeah. This is really, really the impact that a mystery has. Don't forgo your mystery. Don't underestimate your mystery. Don't underestimate your secrets. Don't underestimate the power and the advantageous position that you are in through anonymity. Don't let people who themselves value fame let you give up what you value just to gain something that you don't really want. You don't really need those problems. They have you convinced that fame is the same thing as success. When you think about it, just how many billionaires do you think you can name off the top of your head? Millionaires, sure. Sure, you can name a lot of those. But how many billionaires do you really think you can name off the top of your head? I'm guessing 3 or 4. And these are the ones that go out of their way to make themselves famous. They're always on the TVs, they're always on the magazines, they're always online on the podcasts, right? Letting themselves be known, and people are always talking about them too, so you know who they are. But ask yourself really, how many of them, how many billionaires do you know? These people have used anonymity to great effect. And all the people that are trying to get fame are not nearly as rich as the combination of billionaires. And your fame is dwarfed by their anonymity. You are crushed by the fact that you've got somebody that's 100,000% richer than you, 100,000% richer than you, and you don't even know who he is. You know, when powerful people let you disrespect them, knowing that they could have changed your life, and then they show you that they could have changed your life, but they weren't actually gonna do it. They weren't actually gonna do it. They just wanted to show you. They just wanted to toy with you, right? They just wanted to let you know. Like, even if you hadn't disrespected them, they weren't gonna do nothing for you. But that now that you disrespected them, they got a reason to do it a little bit more, right? That's the power of anonymity, the power of being unknown. You get the power to decide the fate of your enemies. You hold their hands, and you hold their fate in your hands, and you decide the moment that you fall like a thunderbolt. It says here to conclude, experience the mystery with invitation to murder. Uh, these stories are not only entertaining, yes, they are, the vasectomy mysteries, but also create communities of fans who love to discuss and dissect each twist and turn. That's me. That's me. I'm a fan who loves to dissect each twist and turn. If you're intrigued by the allure of a good whodunit, why not immerse yourself in the experience? Join Invitation to Murder for an unforgettable murder mystery event and step into a world of suspense and intrigue. Book your experience today and become part of the mystery. That's invitation to murder.co.uk. I was actually on their website, and what they have, I think, are like murder mystery events. So I think you come in and there's like a case, right? Or a scene, a crime scene, and you come in and you have to figure out what happens, right? They give you one clue, and when you figure out the next clue, you open something and it'll send you to the next clue and the next clue, and then you investigate the whole room until you get to the final outcome. But it's not as easy as you think. I think it's actually quite complicated. I don't know if they have a time limit or anything like that, but it sounds like a lot of fun if you are interested in that kind of thing. Me, not really my cup of tea. I'm more of the vasectomy mystery type. Oh, I love it. I love nothing more than hearing how the heart was broken when the truth was finally revealed. It's that big reveal, man. You know, when your face is all over the world, there's no reveal, there's no outcome, there's no satisfaction, there's no payoff. That's the word I'm looking for. You know, the counterpart, they get a payoff inside, right? Their synapses just fire when they know that they've got something. Or when they got a clue. Oh, there's nothing they love more than a clue. More than a resolution is a clue that leads them somewhere where they have never been. That's what you need in your life. A mystery that takes you outside of your comfort zone and takes you somewhere that you've never been. Not a known entity that's going to come and tell you the same thing you've heard before. And it's the same reason why I really try to explore different avenues, different topics, different articles, different statistics, different points of views, different mentalities, different psychologies. You never know from which angle I'm going to hit you from. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. You should always wonder, well, this is the big issue, it's political, this is this, but what is the ancient one going to discuss? It's not going to be politics, and it's definitely not current affairs. I'm going out of my way to not cover current affairs for a reason. I know I probably get more views covering current affairs, but I'm not doing that. I've never done that in my life. I'm not the kind of person to follow anyone anywhere on any issue. I'll cover this current affairs in 5 years only if it's relevant to the topic and the point. But I'm really not going out there looking to find out what's happening now, I'll tell you what's happening now. Absolutely nothing. Everybody's on their phone scrolling. Just like you. Just like you. So don't go out there thinking there's anything happening. There's nothing happening. Everybody's shooting videos and TikToks at home, right? They want to make an impact on you, but not a real impact in their lives. But this is the end of this extraordinary article and this extraordinary video, and I hope you found it just the same. I love nothing more than to discuss the various aspects of the deceptive arts: paranoia, secrecy, mystery, deception itself in its pure form. There are so many elements to this that we need to discuss, and we will. I think we'll have plenty of time to try out various deceptive techniques. Some more successful than others, right? But there's always something that we can take away, right? There's always something that we can use or change or adjust slightly in order to help us achieve our goals. And I hope one of your goals is to freeze your sperm and get a vasectomy. And then you yourself can have that mystery, the secrecy that's burning inside of you that'll make you a master of the deceptive arts. You know, when you're just about to say those words, I got a vasectomy, and then you pause and you take a moment, you breathe in and you hold that breath. Just as you're about to say it, the power of deception comes over you and says, don't tell them the truth. Tell them something else. And then you say, you know what? I wanted to take you out tonight. Get dressed. I'm taking you somewhere special. And all night long, the counterpart will know this person didn't want to take me out. There was something else. What is it? And then begins the great mystery, the great vasectomy mystery. It starts just that simple. That moment when you think, should I tell her, and you decide no. Deception. Or then the whole story begins. Or she's going to want to know. She's going to find out everything, but she's going to know. She'll find out, oh, you've been talking to somebody else, you're liking pictures, you may be dating somebody else, but she's going to know that's not it. That's not it. What is it? What is it? And you must make them wonder. You must make them wonder. Never tell them. Never tell them. Let your resolve be strong. Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night. And only when you move, you fall like a thunderbolt. Thank you for your time and your attention, really. I appreciate it. And this is the end of the video. I am the Ancient One, the Bachelor Supreme, the Phantom Menace, and the Master of the Deceptive Arts. And I assure you, I shall remain the mysterious voice of the vasectomites. And I'd like to say that if you've enjoyed this video, please like it to indicate your support. Please share it with somebody who you know will benefit from getting a vasectomy, who you know will benefit from studying, practicing, and ultimately mastering the deceptive arts. Share this video with them. Or better yet, keep it your own secret. And if you would like to discuss more deception, if you think you can trust my responses, leave a comment and I'll respond to you. And then you decide if you believe what I'm saying. If you think I'm being honest or I'm being mysterious. Thank you for your time and your attention. I appreciate it and I always will. And I'd like to wish you a very wonderful, mysterious, deceptive day.